Good day. Welcome to the Absa Art Hot Spot. I'm Dr. Paul Bayliss, Absa's Art and Museum Curator. And today we are in discussions with Mongezi Ncaphayi, our 2013 Absa Atelier Gerard Sekoto winner. And he's going to be sharing a bit of his journey with us since winning the 2013 Absa Atelier Gerard Sekoto prize and what he's been doing since then. So welcome, Mongezi. How are you today?
Good, thanks, Paul. I'm good, and you?
Very well, and thanks for joining us today. Tell us a bit, where are you at the moment?
I'm currently in my hometown where I grew up in Benoni. I've rented a small garage because I've been trapped since the lockdown. So just rented a small space just to keep working, just doing some drawings and keeping up with my ideas. Yeah, it's just my temporary studio, I'd say.
But your main studio is in Cape Town, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
So with the whole advent of COVID-19, you got affected and you got, shall we say, stuck in Joburg.
Yeah, I got trapped here in Joburg, and then I've been meaning to work, and then I've just been, yeah, just been like depressed, devastated, But yeah, I've tried to rent a small garage space, and so that I can just work. Yeah, but I mean, at least I'm keeping up with stuff, so it's good.
Okay, we'll come back to, in terms of how the COVID-19 has impacted you and what that has done in terms of your production and that. But maybe just to set the scene so people who aren't familiar with you, just to get to know a bit more about who you are. Do you want to just share with us, who is Mongezi?
Okay, my name is Mongezi Ncaphayi. I grew up in Benoni. I'm an artist, a printmaker, occasional musician. Um, I mean, my work is represented by Smack Gallery. I studied here in Benoni. I don't know. I mean, yeah, I studied in Benoni, and I went on to study at Artist Proof Studio, and then I went on to further my studies in the US at this museum school. And ever since I'm a Lee Atelier Gerard Sekoto Award winner after coming back from the US, and then since then I've just been working mostly here in South Africa, but I'm also doing some other projects and exhibitions and overseas, So yeah, I mean, I'm just mainly a printmaker, painter, printmaker who mostly works abstractly.
So Mongezi, you won the Absa Atelier Gerard Sekoto Award in 2013, and then from then you received the Ampersand Foundation Fellowship from New York City, and then subsequent to that, in 2016, you got the grant from the Prince Claus Fund Grant in Amsterdam. I mean, what do these awards mean for you and in terms of your career as well?
I mean, they mean a whole lot of big things, For me personally, I mean, they make me confident in my work, They make me want to do more and work more, and and yeah, and also like in terms of my career, I mean, it's just just a boost, man. It's just me working, and also I think it's kind of like inspiring to some young artists, the people that I work with, it's yeah, I mean, it's just like inspirational to me and to the youngsters, some other young artists that I work with, that I come across, and that I share information with, and then I encourage them to work more and to also participate and making their names, making it out there, making names for themselves, in the art world, So yeah.
And some of the, all these awards included residencies. I mean, how important is a residency in terms of your career as an artist?
The importance of residencies to me, I mean, having to go to a different country, experience a different culture, and having to interact with artists from those countries, it's very inspirational because it broadens your mind, and in terms of working, in terms of the politics and the cultures, in terms of you know knowing more about the world out there, so it's I mean it's just very important, to do the residences. Also because with my work mostly is more about movement and displacement and all those things. So it's very inspiring for me because I like to I cannot I it's somehow I'm very interested in always moving around and working from different spaces, because I think that helps with my work, because I get to a different environment, and then it it brings new ideas, to my work. It brings new dimensions, or in terms of concepts and other things. Yeah.
So for any young artist who's watching this and says, I've seen Mongezi's career, I want to, almost follow in his footsteps. I mean, one of the things you would advise them to do is to take up a residency or to apply for residencies wherever possible.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I really advise them to do so. Because as I said, it is important, because you get to see. I mean, also, okay, we're lucky we have the Zeitmoker, we have some other museums, but also going overseas, if you experience a lot more of the museum culture. You get to see, some artists, some other works, important historical artworks, and you get to see them in person. Whereas whereas seeing them in catalogs or books, it's kind of different. If you get to see the actual work, you get to feel and how, so I mean, also having to work with other people, man, it's just inspiring to work with different artists from different countries. Because you can also, what connect, in terms of you can create other projects, outside of the residencies, like further projects. You get making some kind of connections, and maybe at some point you can also you can visit the country, can have those, maybe you make friends who can come and visit you and work on different spaces. Yeah, it's just a whole lot of things, man. It's just you know
And that sort of leads to collaborations, and as you say, impacts your work very much so, and I suppose ultimately this ultimately benefits the end product that you provide in. My question, and I suppose for those that are listening, Mongezi, is what ultimately is your inspiration in terms of, as you putting together your work, as you're working towards an exhibition and that what inspires you?
it's just a whole lot of things, man. But just the people, man. Just I like walking around. I like just wandering around, just seeing people, seeing how people live, seeing, the movement of the people, seeing, just a whole lot of things. I'm just inspired by music, by a whole lot of things. Just life, just how people, what do things in the world, and because sometimes okay, like growing up where here in Pinoni, I was not exposed to a whole lot of art. I just knew about art, but now seeing seeing some other artists working, because sometimes you can go to visit an artist studio and then you can see their work process, their thought process. That's inspiring, and then it kind of broadens your mind. You're like, you kind of feel like you need to work more. I like to see people who are like hard workers, and then I could get to feel like, no, I need to still work more and more, so that kind of drives me into doing what I do, so yeah, just like to see people working and making great stuff, and then that inspires me to also do the best I can, for myself, and for the other people and for the artist community and stuff. Yeah.
And music has played an important role in your art making as well. I mean, you after when in the Gerard Sekoto, you had a solo exhibition in the Absa Gallery in 2015, and a lot of that work was was influenced by music in terms of how you brought that music into your mark making and that. I mean, two of those works are behind me where I'm sitting here at Absa, and we're honored to have those included in the Absa art collection. But just talk a bit about that influence that music has into your art making.
Yeah, the thing is, I mean, I grew up in a musical family and musical like background, in my township. I grew up listening to jazz. There's been a lot of jazz music, like like ever since I was growing up, and I also have my artist friend that I used to play. So for me, music in my work is a sort of what do you call it? It informs my imagery, in terms of me making like a painting or a print. I think a whole lot about how music is composed, how musicians use dynamics, how you set a mood, how all those elements in music, So sometimes if I have to explain my work, sometimes I get to use like musical references, So it's just also about like the transcendence, it just gets into you, because then for me also the work, the paintings or prints has got to have a certain mood, it's got to have a feeling, So it's so music plays that role in informing, my workers to bring that about, to setting up a mood, not just being just a work like a state, but I like to see movement in my work, So the more I listen, because also I used to work with music. I started like listening to a lot of records. There were specific records that I would listen to, and then I would make music I would make works to the music, like listening to responding to the music, how the music make me feel, and then that's how I'll transcribe that into painting.
And I think for anyone who engages and looks at your work, you can very much see that movement. I mean, your work isn't static. When you actually look at it, you can see there's movement coming through your work as as a viewer standing in front of it. For younger artists trying to break into the industry, what would your advice be for them?
I'd say they just have to just be honest with their work. Sometimes they might be making work, and then maybe their peers or their friends' work would be selling, then theirs would not be selling, and then because I've seen it also happened with me. I've seen some of my friends that have been working, making a different. What? Okay, before I made abstract work. I used to make some representational works, and then it's more conceptual works, and then some of my friends would make portraits, and then they would sell more, And the thing is, being honest, meaning don't follow trends. Don't do or don't make work just because your friend's work is selling it and you start to change. Just be honest and do what you believe in, and then work on that and build it up and try to build your own language. It takes time, and then eventually you get there, because now they're gonna start changing, and then because this kind of work is not selling, and then you see this other kind of work selling, you try to change, and then sometimes it's not you, to do maybe abstract or portrait or something. They have to just stick to what they know. It comes from the heart. The honesty is more important in making work. And don't think about the money too much. It's yeah, you gotta have a livelihood from your work, but don't make work for money. Just make work for the love. Just make work from within, and then eventually things will just work out. Yeah, the way they should.
In other words, follow your passion. That is basically what you're saying to artists. Almost follow your passion and put your heart into your work and put yourselves out there into the public space.
Yeah, just have to do that. Just be constant. Look at other artists' work and then just build up. It takes time. I mean, it's you're building a language. You're building it. It's a long term thing. That you need to be sustained for a long time. But now, if you're gonna follow trends, so some people might be want you to buy whatever work that they're buying, and then you follow that, and then the next thing you cannot go back, into making what you wanted to do at first. So then you start to confuse people as to what's your style or what's your visual language, So yeah, just be passionate about what you do. Just believe in what you're doing, and then yeah, I mean, definitely it will come right in the end.
And I think so important, as you say, believe in what you do and follow those passions. And now we find ourselves, Mongezi, as you said, you're based in Cape Town. You found yourself stranded in Johannesburg. You're back at home during the lockdown of COVID-19. How have you navigated the past few months, and what has this meant in terms of your art career and your art practice?
Yeah, it has been hard, but most importantly, you don't have it makes you think a lot about the future and things like that. But what I've done is, as I said, now I've tried to rent a temporary space, and I've also, because I couldn't get like art supplies, so I started to collect some discarded materials, and just started wanting to do some sculptural works, and it has been challenging, but you just gotta take those challenges and make them a passion. Just try and improvise. I'm not sure if I'm asking. I'm answering the question now, but yeah, it has just been a whole lot of things. It's just keep your head up. You just have to think. You just have to don't stress too much. Just make work. You see, the only thing is making work. You see, regardless of you don't have paper, you don't have anything, just find something to just find. So I think also COVID, yeah, the situation has been good to me in a way, that it made me now think of working sculpturally and finding discarded objects, and that is important for my work, because now it's broadening, the work itself, which is it's things that I wanted to do to make some sculptures. So I was just forced to start making those sculptural works, So yeah, it's it's been tough times, but just enjoy it. Sometimes you must enjoy the tough time. You must enjoy the struggles. So I don't know.
So and I think that's so important, where some people have seen a lot of negatives out of it. You've been able to take the negatives and look at the positives. And if you're working on sculpture, Mongezi, you know how I have a personal love for your work. So I'm dying to see the sculptures. I'm dying to see how you've taken what you've been doing on paper and how you've now translated that into three-dimensional work. And I think for those that are familiar with your work are also going to be very keen to see what has come out of your studio over the past 3 months. And I suppose just in closing, the last question I have for you is, we talk about us going to a new norm. We don't quite know what the future is going to be holding for us over the next few months due to the impact of COVID-19, the impact that this will have on the arts industry and so on. How do you prepare for the future, and how do you see your career going forward, particularly as we're going into uncharted waters at the moment?
Yeah, that's a difficult question. But I mean, for me, I mean, how I have been living my life, how I've been, working towards my career, just work, just make work. We don't know the future. We will never know the future, but just keep working. I think it's just important. I mean, whatever happens, just make a whole lot of works. Uh, we don't know what's going to happen, but if I don't mean it in a bad way, but say for example something happens to me, I would have left a body of work that the next generation would see that, or maybe some ideas that I've put down. So yeah, it's just as I said, it's just making work. There's nothing other than that. Just for me, it's just to make a whole pile of work, regardless of what the future is holding for us. So we don't know, man. It's just difficult. I don't know how to answer the question, but yeah, just the main thing to me is just work. Just go to the studio and work. Then you'll see. We'll see what happens. Because yeah, we it's out of our hands. Out of our powers as to what the future holds. But having made a whole pile of work, and then you've left a legacy, you've left something for someone to pick up from. So I think that's just important, just to yeah, to make, because someone would come and pick up from that, and then they could go further with that. So it's just, and writing stuff. So it's also important, I think, also for artists to write. To write their ideas down and stuff, so that yeah, people can see what your thought processes, and what you were thinking, and then as I said, people will pick up from that, and then yeah, I mean, someone might make use of that, and then it might be impactful in the future.
Almost keeping a journal of your work, a journal of your thoughts, and as you say, it becomes a record of who Mongezi is, and it gives us insight into the person behind the artwork. Mongezi, any closing comments, thoughts from you before we end today?
My main word is just work. Just what's the word? It's just contain yourself. Just quarantine yourself in your studio, and just make work. That's it. And then and then take advantage of the situation. You must take advantage of any challenges that you come across. I mean, things, if difficult times comes and go. So just make use of that. Just be positive about everything. Just work. Just also do something for the community. Just do something for everyone. Just work.
Thank you, Mongezi. Thank you for that, and thank you for your inspirational words. I think many of the artists you've given them something to work with. As you said, follow your passion, journal your works, so people can get to see a bit about the person behind the artwork. To those that have joined us today, thank you. That was Mongezi Ncaphayi, our 2013 Absa Art Gerard Sekoto winner. This is Dr. Paul Bayless for the Absa Art Hot Spot.